One of the things I wanted to ask you about was the crew was clearly amazingly talented, but you've got two incredible actors there, Nicholas Pinnock and Mark Strong. Mark Strong, who most people will probably know from many films. I've got to ask you, as a filmmaker, how do you make that happen?
So again, I started with the crew. So the first person I attached was the composer, because I knew him a bit. I didn't really have many connections in film, but I knew that I wanted to do this. And I wrote the script during the first lockdown in May 2020. And yeah, I guess probably over the summer I started to talk to various people about it. But it was just really one person at a time. You know, you start with a few people who you think you're going to be able to attach, to tempt to give up a huge amount of time for very, very little money, because that's the reality with a short film. And then once I got Peter involved on the VFX, Peter is a very talented guy. Peter Esseny, that is. He worked on Blade Runner, The Martian, when he was working for a big company called Territory Studio. Then he went out on his own, and I just happened to, get introduced to him by basically cold calling someone else.
Wow, because you can see the quality of the VFX. I mean, VFX are very. I mean, we saw in Triskelion they introduced a bit of VFX into that animation, but yours are next level. That it's just absolutely beautiful VFX on that.
Peter brought so much to the project. He's kind of like the unsung hero. And I think when I went to Nicholas and approached him about the project, the fact that we had someone of Peter's caliber doing the VFX, Andy Tuvey, who did the cinematography, who did the DOP, his previous work as well, it looks beautiful. So, I think they took, Nicholas and Mark, they took a chance on me, my first film, obviously. But I think they did that because of the quality of the team around me.
Yeah, I guess it's like a snowball effect. You get someone that's got that attachment to various projects. They know someone, and they know someone, and before you know it, a lot of it is word of mouth, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, completely. And the editor, the cinematographer, and the composer have done loads of work together. So that was, and the sound designer. So they were kind of, they're used to working with each other, and that kind of helps that you have that sort of synergy.
But I guess that's also a bit intimidating as well, right? As a first-time filmmaker, you're surrounded by all this talent. How did you harness them, rein them in, and make sure that you were, they made it clear that you were the director?
I mean, to be honest, I relished the opportunity, so I wasn't really intimidated by it. I was a bit like, this is finally my opportunity to do this. I've been waiting a long time to make my first film. So when I got the chance, I was like, you don't need to shy away, you just have to make the most of it.
100%, yeah, and you've definitely done that. I mean, the quality is incredible. Obviously, coming away from the production itself, the storyline, obviously, men's mental health and mental health in general is a topic that everybody, is either affected by or has an opinion on or strong thoughts about. You've tackled quite a delicate situation. It's very brutal. Obviously, the film is very brutal, but you've done it in such a way that is, a heartbreaking story. There's obviously a fine line that you have to walk when making a film like this. So if you can elaborate more on that, would be great.
Well, I hope that the film is received as it's intended. It's a cautionary tale at the end of the day. And I wanted to make a film about mental health for various reasons. And I had an idea, I had a sort of concept, what this film started off as. And it is a fine line. And I was worried. When I wrote the script, I was worried. I was like, will people get this? And, will people understand what I'm trying to do? And people gravitated towards the story. And then I realized that, I was onto something.
You've managed to do something that's quite incredible in that you've taken almost a dystopian future type situation. You've taken AI, modern technology. you've taken like a heartfelt story, and then obviously you've got mental health in there. That's four things that you might see a film on each one of those. You've brought all of those things together. I take it that was an intentional thing, because there's dynamics in there that wouldn't naturally come to your mind. So you've obviously thought it through quite well.
Yeah, thank you. I guess, the three central themes were isolation, and then veering into questions about mental health, fatherhood, and our relationship with technology. And I think at the time when I was writing this film, all those things were very much on my mind, and I wanted to make a film that was helpful, hence the title.
Yeah.
And the fact that the AI sort of came into it was that started with the concept, but actually in terms of the themes and the heart of the film, it's not. I don't consider this just to be like a plain sci-fi film, and I think a lot of sci-fi is sometimes made without having a heart behind the story. And I think when you can combine, a drama and a sci-fi, or when you can bring two genres together, I think it can be interesting.
Yeah, it's incredible. You've done a fantastic job. As a film lover, I love it, and as a filmmaker, I admire it. Like I know what goes into that sort of thing.
So, okay. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.